Hello, friends and neighbors. Swaggy Man Piper 1926 here. On a nice Saturday evening. It's probably around 7 o'clock. Maybe a little after. If I'm not mistaken, this is well, Saturday before Father's Day. And this is going to probably show up tomorrow, Father's Day. So let me be the first, I hope, or maybe, to wish you happy Father's Day out there if you are a father, be it the child biological or not. Smoking my 7LE. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. Let's see if she'll... maybe. Kinda. There. That's the best I can do for you folks. Looks like an O, a D, or an O, an N. Might be another O with an accent mark on top of it and an A. Anyone who knows Italian, feel free to, let me know how you pronounce that little jewel. This is a mostly a lot of key pipe. It used to be just my early morning pipe. What used to be Dunhill, now Peterson. But I've just gradually integrated it into just all. A lot of Kia blends. The occasional Virginia, but very rarely. Still using the flat black lighter that was given to me by Pops. Well, I believe I mentioned the story in my last video, so I'm not going to go through it again. What am I smoking? I'm sorry. It is King's Full. I think that's Drucker and Sons. So, a while back, I got in a box from Paladin, who is in my humble opinion, a wonderful human being. It was several blends, essentially saying that I'm not going to smoke these, so I'm just going to go ahead and give them to you, for which I am very grateful. Because all of them but one I've had, and yeah, so this is the King's Full, like I said, by I believe the Street Food Sons. If I'm wrong, I apologize. I don't have a 10, I just had the bag, but it's a kind of already busted up flake, if you will, kind of stringy. I don't know the contents other than Latakia. I want to say there might be a little Oriental in there, but again, I wouldn't swear to it. First bowl. First time me smoking this pipe in, well, comfortably a season, because I had, so I went and took and all the pipes that I normally grab for, reach for. I cleaned them and put them up. So, for the most part, this past winter, I was not forcing myself necessarily, but trying to give my other pipes that I don't necessarily reach for a lot chances, opportunities, for me to smoke them more, which I did. Because I'm gradually going through and getting rid of some. I think I'll send them over to smoking pipes. Yeah, I think it's smoking pipes that has the buyback and all that stuff. Yeah, I think that's right. If it ain't, just look over me. I've had a good bit of coffee today, so everything's swimming in my head. Plus, if you notice me shaking more, really see me shaking, that's partially the coffee. The other part is, I'm getting older, and that's kind of in my genetics, I guess. My dad, my grandpa, all had some shakes to them. Now my brother does as well, but I think his it's maybe genetics, but it's also he claims his nerves is just, and he shakes really bad. He shakes as bad as what our grandpa did when he was in his late 80s, if that gives you an idea. So, it is what it is. We're all getting older. Well, I'm getting older. Well, maybe I am. I don't know. I think I'm going to be more like Jack Benny and just stop at 39. Well, 38. And not that y'all necessarily care, but I'm going to tell you. I want to say in the 30s when, the radio show was still, before he was sponsored by Lucky Strike, Jack Benny was sponsored by Jello. And, well, I'm sorry, before he was sponsored by Lucky Strike, he was also sponsored by one of the cereals. Grape nuts flakes. I think that's correct. Yeah, and but that was during the war. But in the 30s, if I'm not mistaken, he had might have been before he was really as much of a following, and I could be wrong on that too, but he started being 38. And then a few years, eventually he turned 39. And stayed 39, to the best of my knowledge, as far as anyone would ask him, until he passed away. At 39 and plus. So I might just stay 38. I don't know. 39 may not be too terrible either. Just 39. Have to keep up with the math to know what year I was born if I'm going to be 39. So the yeah, sure happened. Sure did. Man, oh man, everything just went poof. I don't even know what I was going to say. Well, I don't know. I've loafed for the most part of today. I haven't really hit a lick of much of anything. I took and did some dishes and fixed him. Well, it was brunch, is what it was. It was breakfast for lunch. So mm, yeah, we just mostly watch some movies, TV. I don't know, mostly movies. The I wanted to watch Kong, Skull Island. It's woven into the Godzilla stuff, and I really, well, I like that one. I like the original, or the well, even the original, but the updated original of the King Kong. You know, the one with Jack Black in it, I think it was. Again, that sounds right. Feel free to correct me in the comments. I don't remember um, who was in the original. But I feel like they've done um, the original story of King Kong a few times. Because I want to say there was one in the, there's one in the 30s, and I think they redid it in the 80s. And then one in the 2000s? 2000s. I don't know if it was before or after to 2010 or not. So, um, nice and quiet. This little area here that I was sitting on, or I'm sitting on, is the what used to be in front of my house before we built the porch. Which it's not officially done, but you know, I'm never going to get anything done that I start. I've just about the well, nothing works in our time, even when we want it to, even when we need it to. It doesn't. We're just, you know, on God's time. And for me, that's a hard, not always a easy thing to grasp. Um, so yeah, the just so I can't think of, can't particularly think of my dad. Um, Without thinking something biblical. Um, he was very Bible minded. But you know, um, he'd laugh at respectively everything as well. Because nobody's perfect. Um, so I had intentions of trying to tell you a couple jokes to kind of help out with the Father's Day. Sorry, the Father's Day, because you know, the whole dad joke and thing, and always always some kind of corny jokes. Or relationship kind of thing, you know. Like the time um, he was playing music, and this is actually how I heard the joke. And anyone who's watched my channel kind of from the beginning has heard me say this one. But Dad used to play in a bluegrass band, and he was up on stage, and they took kind of a little break of playing music, and the leader of the band looked at him and said, "Rick, was that you that I seen pulled over the other day?" And you know, no, it wasn't me. But that was your van. I recognized your van. Um, no, it wasn't me. He said, now don't lie to me, Rick. That was your van. Why'd you get pulled over? He said, well, it wasn't me. Yes, it was my van. No, it wasn't me. I had loaned it out to my cousin. He had he had gotten pulled over and had a family emergency. So when he had gotten pulled over, he had gotten out of the car, walked over to the police officer, and he said, "Officer, yes, I realized that I was speeding." I said, "But I need to tell you something." He said, "Do you see that woman sitting in the back seat?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah." He said, "That's my mother-in-law. She's been staying with us for over a month. And just this morning, her and my wife had a big fight. And I was trying to get her home before they made up." And then the leader of the band, who, you know, would look over at Dad and said, well, Rick, did he get a ticket?" And Dad would say, "Well, not only did he not get a ticket, but he got an escort." So, and one of my favorites, not, Dad never got to hear this, at least to the best of my knowledge, and not by me, because I had just, you know, heard it not too long ago. And I've also done this one on the channel, but for Father's Day's sake, let's I'll go ahead and redo it for you, because this one, it really makes me laugh. So, you know, there was this old farmer, and he had just a nagging wife that never gave him any peace, at least as long as he was in the house. But the only way he could have anything resembling a moment of peace is he would go outside and plow. And he was outside plowing one day, and his wife come out with lunch, and he had, parked his mule over underneath the shade tree and unhooked it and was letting it eat some lunch. And he was there sitting and eating his sandwich, and his wife was still there, and she just started cutting in on him, just quarreling at him and quarreling at him. And after a little while of that, the mule's ears shot up and then drawled back. And that mule gave a big jump kick and kicked his wife, the man's wife, and killed her graveyard dead. And the next few days, have the funeral, and the preacher is there. He'd give a sermon, and everyone was kind of passing by the casket. And he was watching the farmer interact with the people. And he noticed that every time a woman or a group of ladies or what have you would walk up to him, he would shake his head up and down. And he also noticed that anytime a man would go up and say something to him, he'd shake his head back and forth. Kind of a serious look on his face. And after a while of that, toward the end of everything, the preacher finally walked up to the farmer. He said, "Sir, I've got to know, what are the ladies saying that you're agreeing with, and what are the men saying that you're disagreeing with?" He said, I just need to know. And being an old country farmer, he said, "Well, preacher, anytime a woman walks up here, she wants to remark on how nice my wife was and how nice she looks there laying, and just, a wonderful soul that she was. And the preacher said, "Okay, yeah, that makes sense, all right." He said, "But all the men, what are they saying that's making you say no or shake your head?" He said, "Well, preacher, the only thing those men are wanting to know is if that mule's for sale." So, folks, hopefully this is good for your Father's Day. Feel free to tag in some jokes, or do a little video tagged. Just if you do a video something to this line, tag me. I'd love to hear a dad joke or a story, be it serious or comical, for you and your dad. So hopefully y'all take care of yourselves. Sorry. Hopefully y'all have a good Father's Day. Y'all take care. If you've made it this long, thank you. God bless you. I'm getting really close to 30 minutes. Longest thing I've ever done. Remember, folks, hug your daddy. Tell him you love him. And remember, kindness costs us nothing.